Why are we confining color just to our eyelids? We have all of this to play with. Put all the multi-chromes on. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Ignore the wet hair, it doesn't matter. I am actually really excited to film this video today. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I've been waiting for a few more items to arrive. They are finally here. I have everything nicely housed and categorized in the most gorgeous magnetic case that exists, and I am so happy to share with you the beauty that is CLIONADH Cosmetics. CLIONADH Cosmetics is a Canadian company. It's based in Toronto. It's run by two sisters, Maggie and Lee, and I believe they have one employee as well. Although, given that Shane Dawson has just given them a huge shout out, I think that they're going to need more people on staff because I predict really big, really great things for them, and I couldn't be happier for a brand than I am for CLIONADH Cosmetics. Knowing that I was going to film this video, I reached out to the owners through Instagram and asked them if I could get a little bit of information from them in terms of how CLIONADH Cosmetics came to be, just what in the heck Cleona actually means, and all of that kind of information, and Maggie was kind enough to respond. So she let me know that she and Lee graduated university in the same year, and they decided to start this brand just more as a hobby than anything else. She said that they didn't put a lot of thought into it, and she was really glad that they didn't, or else it probably never would have happened. And I totally relate to that. I am excellent at overthinking things to the point that I get myself stuck and I just don't move forward with it. I get so scared of failing that I don't even take the chance to fail, if that makes sense. In any event, I, for one, am very glad that they took the chance because here we are today. To answer the question of who or what Cleona is, she is the Irish goddess of love and beauty. Maggie and Lee are of Irish descent, and so they are paying homage to their roots. Now, the products themselves are all handmade. They are free of parabens and talc, they are cruelty-free, and they are vegan. The brand offers a fairly wide variety of options to you at varying different price points. They have pressed shadows starting at $6 all the way up to the jeweled multi-chromes, which are $25 a pan. And although the brand is housed in Toronto, they do ship internationally, and if you want to arrange for tracked and insured shipping outside of North America, all you need to do is email them and they will provide you with a quote and make arrangements from there. So currently, I think the big focus on the brand is in relation to their stained glass collection, which they released, I believe it was the end of April, which it deserves all the hype. Like, these products are absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful. But let's not forget that they also have regular pressed pan shadows, and those start at a much lower price point. So they are in the $6 to $7 range. They have some pressed highlighters that are in the $14 range, and they also have two eyeshadow palettes. Unfortunately, I don't have either of those palettes. I would like to get my hands on them at some point, but just haven't bit the bullet yet. But I imagine that they perform every bit as well as the other shadows that I've seen of theirs. Okay, so now I think it's time to swatch. I'll give you a little bit more information as we go through the swatches, and I know that somebody had asked me what my favorite shade in each category of the stained glass collection is, and I will answer that as we go through. On the back of the pans, it just has the name. It doesn't have the category, so I wasn't able to answer that without going to the website and flipping back and forth. I have now organized everything and I can answer that in this video. Okay, about a year ago, I did a swatch video on all of my Super Shock shadows from ColourPop. In that video, I swatched them on my face. And I thought that people might be like, wow, you're a weirdo. But the response was amazing. Everybody seemed to like me swatching stuff on my face. So, don't fix what's not broken. I'm gonna swatch on my face today. Okay, so let's get into it. So this is the magnetic palette. This comes as part of their stained glass collection. It is originally priced at $45, although currently you can order it for $35. I'm not sponsored. I'm not sponsored to do this video, but you will hear me say over and over again how much I love the owners, and that's because I do. They are setting the standard of what brand owners should be. They're responsive, they're engaged, and they're proactive, and I have so much respect for them. So let's get into it. On the inside, there's no cheaping out here. There's a huge mirror. It folds all the way back, which I love. And then there is room in here to house all of the shadows from their stained glass collection, which obviously I don't have all of them. I have the stained glass ones here in the square pans, or rectangular, I guess. And then part of their regular line, if you will, are down here in the circular pans. Sorry, I have to interrupt myself again. This is another part of their stained glass collection. This is just a hand-painted glass brush holder, or in my case, sample perfume holder. They're not currently available on the website, likely because they all sold out because they are handmade, but they sold out in a hot minute on the original launch and on the first restock, so I imagine that they will restock these as well. I think they're beautiful, and they're all unique, so you're not just getting a cookie cutter thing, and I just think it's really pretty. So I've just, like I said, I've just housed all my perfume samples in mine. I have kids, they like to come in here, which freaks me out to no end, but they do come in here. If I have anything glass and breakable sitting on here, they will find it. They're like magnets for destruction. So this one sits in the background. Okay, so in looking at them, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, because there's not a ton of real estate on my face, and I have like over 20 shadows combined here, so in order to give the best impact and not have everything crowded into little tiny swatches, I'm going to do it in 2 stages. I'm going to do the original, I'm going to call them original, the circular pans. I'm going to do those ones first, wipe it off, and then we'll do stained glass. I'm not wearing foundation or anything, so I'm not too worried about that. I do have concealer on because I don't want to horrify you, but I didn't want to put any other color on because I didn't want to distract from the shadows. So we're going to go in with these. They are a bit of a mixed bag, so some of them are from the Harvest Moon collection, and then some are from another collection. I can't remember the names of them, but they're all in like the $6 and $7 range. When you go to the website, there's like a little drop down and you can go through all the different collections. Maggie and Lee, if you're watching, I know you said that you may be working on your website. The recommendation or the suggestion that I would have is just having an option to show all or categorize them by mattes and shimmers, just to make it a little bit easier for the shopping experience. I personally just find going through all of the different collections to be a little bit cumbersome, and then I can't remember where they're all from. So for me personally, I would prefer if the website did have them grouped a little bit more accessibly, if that's a word. That's totally a word. Coming into it, I don't know what was in those collections to begin with, and I just find it easier to sort through the finish themselves rather than by collection. And also, I don't think you guys are going anywhere anytime fast, so I suspect that you're going to have a multitude of collections in your future, and it may become a little bit more overwhelming if there's even more to choose from. That's just my suggestion. Okay, let's go through the shimmers first, and then we will do the mattes. Hey guys, editing me. I am missing footage on this, and I can't find it anywhere. So the first 2 swatches you're not going to see in the video because my SD card ate them. Like, I'm mystified. I have no idea. Anyways, the blue swatch that you see on my cheek is the shade Fog, and it's like a blue gold sort of, it's got a gold shift to it, and it's really beautiful. It's unlike anything else that I have. And the green one is Gecko's Tail, and that is, it's like a pastel neon green shimmer. It's really interesting. But anyways, I just wanted to give you that heads up and just sort of explain why we suddenly jumped to me having 2 swatches already done. All right, back to the video. This shade here is called Hex. And again, it's like, it's hard to describe. It's again like a duochromatic kind of deal. Like, it has purple with a little bit of a shift to it, and it's again super unique. Like, I don't have a shade like this in the myriad other eyeshadow palettes that I have. I don't have a shade like this one. Something that I really like about these shimmery shadows is that they are smooth. They're not chunky, they're not glittery. They pick up nicely on a brush. Sometimes I have issues with that with like super foiled shadows. These ones pick up nicely, they deposit nicely, they don't crease, they don't rain down on my cheeks throughout the day, they don't, you know, disappear over the course of the day. They are like top quality products. I have one more shimmer to share with you, and that is the shade Elixir. And this one is sort of like an antiqued gold almost. I'm not great at describing these things. But it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, and then I have, it's sort of a hybrid, like it's a matte base, but there is a little bit of a shimmer in it, and it's the shade Inferno. And I just find that that makes it really interesting and unique, because those little bits of glitter do show up once it's applied to the eyes. And it's really subtle. It's not chunky glitter again, it's just a little bit of an eye catcher, if you will. So put that one up here. And I also just really love the base of that color too, the red. It's got a depth to it and a hint of pink to it almost that makes it as wearable as a red eyeshadow can be. Like it doesn't edge into that like blood red category, although it is quite bright and bold. It's not difficult to work with, I find. This one I find even just putting it all over the lid looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, so then I have 4 straight pure matte shadows. The first one I'm going to talk about is Daydream. Just a beautiful lilac shade. I'm going to try doing this with my left hand. So like pigmentation, Batman, it's insane. It's a pastel, it's a purple. By any rights, those should be very difficult to formulate, and yet there it is. And these mattes blend beautifully. They build up nicely, they blend out beautifully. There's not a ton of kick up in the pan. They're just, again, like I'm astounded by the quality, and the fact that these pans are like $6 is pretty awesome. Like the value is definitely there. All right, the next one that I have is Strawberry Mousse. I can't say that this is a dud. That's certainly not the word that I would use. This one just doesn't show up as much on my skin tone. How many do I have here? Yeah, okay. If I was a little bit more fair, then I think it would show up more. Like you can see it here because it's a heavy swatch, but if I blend it into my crease, it doesn't show up as much. So I do like to use this one on the lid rather than trying to blend with it because you just can't really see it. But the color is really pretty, and again, I don't have anything like that in any other palette that I have. Okay, I'm going to talk about Parchment next. This is one of those shades that always looks kind of meh in the pan, but it's such a functional shade, especially for blending out other shadows. And so I actually really like it. It's sort of like one of those mustardy brown kind of baby poop colors, but the baby poop colors are insanely popular for a reason, because they just add a different element when you're putting it into the crease or using it as a transition shade. It's just something different than like a pure brown. It's a little bit softer, a little bit warmer, and I actually really like that. All right, last but certainly not least is the shade Maze. And it's just a straight up yellow. So again, pastel, yellow. You'd think it might have a little bit of a struggle to it, but absolutely not. And I don't know what else to say about it except that I love it. One thing I'll note is that whether you're talking about the mattes or you're talking about the shimmers, they are extremely consistent across the board. So regardless of what color you're using, you're going to get the same level of pigmentation. You're going to get the same level of blendability. It's one matte doesn't kick up and the other one does. They're all very, very consistent in terms of their texture as well. All right, but I do need to wash them off so that we can go in with the other ones. I'll be right back. All right, here we are. We're ready to rock and roll with the stained glass collection. But because some of them do have glitter particles in them, I'm going to put some primer on my face. I'm just going to use the Dior Backstage Primer just because it's a nice sort of moisturizing primer that doesn't add a ton of radiance or mattify anything or get super sticky. I just want it to have something to kind of hold on to so that glitter is not everywhere. They're not bad for fallout, like they're really not, but anytime you use something that has a bit of glitter in it, there's bound to be a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to start with the pastel multi-chromes because I only have one of them. This is the shade Turret. These shadows range from $14 to $19. And they're sort of like a pressed shimmer shadow. They do have a shift to them. They are multi-chromes, but it's not as obvious as what you're going to see when we get to the jeweled multi-chromes. Those are sort of the crowned jewels in the entire collection, in my opinion, but we're saving them for a little bit later. Okay, so here is Turret. Holy focus camera, there we go. There we go. Next up, I'm going to talk about the iridescent multi-chromes. I love these. I love these so, so much. These are $10.50 each, and they kind of look the same in the pan. Like these two look fairly similar in the pan, but once swatched, you can really see the difference in the undertones and the shifts to them. So I'm going to start off with Glow. Honestly, I think this is my favorite out of the entire collection that I have. And I love those jeweled multi-chromes, but Glow just makes my heart happy. It truly does. Let me apply it. I'll show you, and maybe you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, iridescent is the perfect word for this. It's blue, it's white, it's got like a pinky in there. Like it's just, oh, it's so gorgeous. This is literally like one of those ones that like I just randomly swatch on my hand and look at because it's so pretty. Like I just love it so much, in case that's not abundantly clear. This one just knocks my socks off. I can wear this all over my lid. I can wear it as an inner corner highlight. It is stunning. Absolutely stunning. If you get one out of this entire collection, this is like a must-have. It is beautiful. Not to be left out, the next one, Glimmer, is also very, very beautiful. Again, it looks very much the same in the pan, and it feels very much the same, but this one has a different shift to it. This one is far more pinky purple, whereas Glow is more blue. So I'll just run it along on top so you can see the difference between them. This one reminds me of those like iridescent highlighters that were all the rage about a year or so ago. It's that kind of shift to it, but it's still absolutely beautiful. I just like the color tone of Glow a little bit better, just on a personal basis. Now the last iridescent multi-chrome that I have is the shade Umbra, and this one looks and feels different than the other two. This one feels a lot more like a pressed powder, whereas the other two, they have almost like a, I'm gonna say flaky consistency, although that makes it sound unappealing. It's not, it's just, those ones are far more fragile in the pan than this one is. So this one does kick up a bit of powder, but it's still really pretty, especially once it's blended out. So I find that this one is very similar in color to Glimmer, but it is a little bit more purpley blue and a little bit more subtle, I would say. I think because it's more of like a pressed powder. This would be, again, a perfect inner corner highlight. Even though the pan is small, you could still use it as a highlighter itself. All of these are safe for the eyes, they're safe on your face. You could even put them as lip toppers over lip products. So there is like endless creativity available with these products. Okay, before we move on to the category that I have the most of, we're gonna do the jeweled multi-chromes because they deserve some prime real estate. I have 3 of them. They are $25 each. It sounds very pricey. They're worth it. I have not seen anything else on the market that looks exactly like these. Like, there are other companies doing multi-chromes. They don't look to be as beautiful as these ones, at least not in my opinion. Okay, first up is Gothic. And I am hoping and praying that my camera will do these justice. The shifts on these are out of this world. They are so, so beautiful. And my camera likes to hide that from you guys. Also, it doesn't like focusing there. Like I said, I am going to link their website down below. Go to their website. I'll also link their Instagram. Their Instagram, they have a ton of videos and pictures and comparison swatches. That would be an excellent starting point if you are planning to pick some of these up, because they will compare ones that look similar in the pan to really show you what those different shifts are, so that you can make the best decision you can in terms of which ones you might want to pick up. Okay, so this is Gothic. If we run out of room, we'll wash some off, okay? We'll work around it. So let's stick Gothic straight across the forehead. In the pan, it looks more like a reddish burgundy shade, and then this looks straight up purple. So I'm hoping that we can see a little bit of the shift on these as I'm moving around. We'll go in with the next one, which is Anil. And this one shifts green, teal, purple. So there's green. It's not going to show up purple, is it? Well, we'll stick it on, hopefully that, like right now when I'm looking at it, it looks dead on purple. There's no green in there whatsoever, but then I flip it around and it looks like I'm lying to you guys, but I'm not, I promise. All right. It's so pretty. So pretty. These ones I find can create a little bit of fallout on my cheeks, but pack them on with a brush rather than dragging them, or use a finger and use them and you're good to go. Also with these, because there's so much of a shift to them, I find that it's not great to like put a bunch of them on your eyes because you lose out on the effect. If you just use one straight across the lid, then you're good to go, and as your head moves and things like that, then you get to see all of those beautiful colors show up. So the last one that I have then is Oculus, which from here looks fairly similar to Anil, just more on the teal side than green. But again, it has like a really strong purple shift to it as well. It annoys me to no end that it doesn't show up on the camera. My God, they're beautiful. So if I had to pick a favorite out of these 3, that would be very hard to do. I think Oculus wins for me. Is it Oculus? Yeah. I mean, honestly, even if they didn't shift, even if they just stayed like this super foiled metallic, that would still be beautiful. But in reality, when they're shifting around and like, it's like magic on your eyes, like it truly is. These are next level. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the last category, which are the glitter multi-chromes. And of these, I have 7. These range from $10 to $11. I'm not quite sure what creates the price difference amongst some of these. I think it's probably just certain pigments for certain colors. That would be my guess. So do with that what you will. All of these are available in different bundles. So they have preset bundles, or you can create your own bundles. I haven't written down all the prices of that. Just go to the website because it is quite user-friendly to figure out what's available from there. So let's just dive straight into the glitter multi-chromes, because these are stinking gorgeous too. First up is Abrasion. And from here on out, I'm going to probably just not even try to explain what colors these are because I don't know. But suffice it to say, they're all beautiful. Focus, my God. So as the name would suggest, these do have glitter in them, but it's not super chunky. It's not difficult to work with. It still applies very smoothly. It still picks up with the brush really nicely. It doesn't just fall apart as soon as it's out of the pan. And the glitter, for the most part, stays where it's meant to stay. I would definitely suggest using either an eye primer or a glitter glue, but it's not necessary. Like, these aren't loose powders. They do behave themselves, but a little bit of glitter will fall down throughout the course of the day. I won't say that it won't, because it will, but I'm okay with that, because when I'm rocking something like this, a little bit of glitter on my face, not going to distract from it. The next one is the shade Carving. Yeah, I don't know how to describe that color. It's got like a greeny reddish thing going on. Is there? Yeah, a little bit of red in there, eh? Greeny purple, maybe? I don't know how to describe it, but again, it's pretty. I don't know how to pronounce this. Grisaille, I believe? Grisaille? I don't know. I didn't get the French gene. I'm a Canadian who doesn't really like maple syrup. I don't skate. I don't care about hockey, and I don't speak French. So I'm just like a polite American. Okay. Also, sorry, I don't mean to offend Americans. Yeah, it's got like a strong reddish base to it, and then it's the glitter that's really bringing in those different tones on that one. Next is yet another one that I'm not quite sure how to pronounce. I think it's Ciel? 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 I think it's Ciel. Let's go over here. So to me, this one is sort of like the very first one, Fog, but kicked up. Like a little bit brighter, more intense, the shift is more obvious. Same kind of idea, but just more. All right, next is Enamel. This is one of the new ones that I just received. And holy crap, that is beautiful. I haven't worn this one yet, but I will be. Another purple that I have here is the shade Stencil. Again, super pretty. This one's not nearly as like glittery as the rest of them are. This one's more like their shimmer formula. Okay, and last but not least is Kaleidoscope. And this one looks super pink in the pan, but it doesn't look as pink once it's applied. This one, I didn't pay for. This one they included for a lot of people who had to wait longer for their shipment to arrive from the original launch. They just put them in as sort of value added and as a thank you for patience or an apology for delay, however you want to look at it. That is one thing that I will note, is that it does take a while for orders to be fulfilled. It's not terrible. It's never to the point where you think that they've just completely forgotten your order. They're fantastic at sending out emails and updating on their Instagram to let everybody know what they're doing, where they're at with their order processing, all of that kind of thing. And so I don't begrudge them that. Like I said, there's 2, and I think their employee is part-time, I want to say. So they're busting their tails doing all of this. These are all handmade products. They're, you know, packaging them themselves, order picking themselves, all of that kind of thing. So be cognizant. That's all I can say is when you're ordering from a very small indie brand, just be cognizant that it's not like you're ordering from effing Amazon. They're not going to get it to you the next day. They're probably not going to get it to you within a week. You just have to be patient. And if you have questions, at least with these guys, I know if you have questions and you email them, they will respond. So there's that. Now you've been warned. All right, Kaleidoscope. This one reminds me very much of the iridescent ones because it is iridescent. It is like, it looks so pink in the pan, but it's got like a strong teal shift to it, and it's one of my favorites. Like, I'm so glad that they included it because I hadn't picked it up for myself, obviously. And I love it. I'm so happy that I did get it. So to pick a favorite from that category, because I have a larger number of them, is very difficult. But honestly, I'm gonna go with this one. And again, that one is enamel, and it's gorgeous. Second runner up is CL, and Kaleidoscope is third, I think. Yeah, or Abrasion, one of these two. I wish that this was a socially acceptable look. Like, I wish that I could, you know, show up at the courthouse and be like, yo, Your Honor, what's up? And not, you know, have threats of disbarment thrown at me. Okay. Sorry. I got a little carried away because I like them all so much. Okay, I have 2 more things that I want to mention before we wrap up. One is that they also sell brushes as part of their stained glass collection. They range, I believe, from $5 to $10, and they're really pretty. Like, they have this nice, like, crystal looking handle, and they're very soft. Like, they are very soft. This one's quite dirty, but that's okay, that's my fault. I have a few others, but they're also needing to be washed. Like I said, they are incredibly soft. They're very well made. There's no, like, sometimes you get like a wonky cut, and that is not the case here. They're just well constructed. They don't splay. I haven't lost any hairs on any of them. They're really nice brushes, so be sure to check them out as well. Okay, last but not least, I have a discount code to share with you guys, and I'm so excited about it. When I reached out to them, I did tell them I was going to be filming a swatch video and asked if they would mind providing a discount code for you guys, and they were happy to oblige. So if you use the code KARA10, you can save 10% off of certain items. So I'm just going to go to their message because I can't remember exactly what the exclusions are. So they say, the coupons apply to everything except Aftershock Quads, the Paleo and Archeo eyeshadow palettes, Charity shades, and the shadows from the Stained Glass collection. The accessories are coupon eligible, so the coupon code will work for that. This is not an affiliated code, so I don't make any commission off of any sales using that code. It's just a way for you guys to save 10% off of any purchases with those exceptions in mind. So with that being said, happy shopping, guys. I'm not normally one to be like, you need this in your life, I'm obsessed, all of that. I'm not I don't view my role on YouTube to be a pusher of things, but if I was going to push you to purchase from a brand, it would be CLIONADH Cosmetics. They just, like, they knock it out of the park with everything they do. So I'm in full support of this brand, and I predict amazing things for them, and I'm so excited to see where this journey takes them. All right, I know this was a long one. Thank you so much for hanging in there and taking the time to watch. I will see you guys in my next video, and until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.